Welcome back to the Twin Elm Rugby Park in Richmond, Ontario for this Division I Rugby Ottawa test between the Ottawa Indians and the Barrhaven Scottish. Dan Mooney alongside Greg Hedgecoe. A brisk wind from the east, cooling the 23-degree temperatures here at the pitch. Referee Andrew McMaster in the middle today. And it looks as if the Scottish will get things underway, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Scottish are going to be very hungry to try to win this ball back and start dominating the game right from the kickoff.
The Scottish in the blue with the red trim. The Ottawa Indians, the red, white, and black barber pole with black shorts. Anticipating the opening of a score settler. We're underway, and the Indians expected to be very, very heavy in the front end and use that power, Greg.
And they're showing that already, as opposed to kicking the ball or moving it wide. They're just trying to attack right up the middle of the field.
And there they go again. And the Scottish defenders, here's a bit of a break. Open field,
nice,
almost to midfield.
Well played.
And back come the Scottish. Expect a lot of ball movement from this team that has gone 14-0 over the past 2 seasons. 4-0 coming to this one as the Ottawa Indians. Chip didn't work, and here's a chase for it, and it looks Johnny Van de Wint lost his shoe and was looking for a penalty. None forthcoming from referee Andrew McMaster. Play called here.
Yeah, none forthcoming on that play. It looked like both players were contesting for possession. Even though there was a desire for a penalty, I'm not sure that one should have been awarded there. The Indians do, though, have possession with a knock-on from Adam Radmore.
So it's an Indian scrum right at the Scottish 22. And something not done correctly, so referee Andrew McMaster will have them engage once again. Ball is in. Dave Thompson
already showing his force.
The forward end for the Indians.
Well, the referee not happy with the Scottish playing with the halfback of the Indians, giving them an opportunity for 3 points right at the beginning.
They're going to kick at goal. It'll be Jason Duff. Played for Lakehead University at one point in his rugby career. Will attempt to get the Ottawa Indians on the board. And be safe to assume, Greg, that the Indians are going to take points wherever they can get them.
I think that, especially with Duffy's boot, they're going to be looking to take the points whenever they can get them in this game. The Scottish will have to be disciplined.
Directly in front of the post, and Duff is good.
Yes, it is.
And it's 3-0 for the Indians.
Not the start that the Scottish would have been hoping for, but it's a bit of a dream come true so far for the Indians.
Lots of time to play. We play 2 40-minute halves. And this one just over 3 minutes old. Dan Gauthier. Nice high kick. And the Scottish get it back. Shane Mullen there to get the kick. Gauthier chips it in deep inside the 22, and the Indians send the ball into touch on the full.
Yes, but the referee has deemed that he saw something he didn't like earlier on. penalty against the Indians. It'll be interesting to see whether the Scottish elect for a shot at goal.
Well, they're well within the range of Dan Gauthier. Be about 26, 27 meters out. And it doesn't look as if that's the route that they plan to take. Yes, it is. So Gauthier will try to get this match back on even terms.
Yeah, ordinarily a regulation kick for Danny is a strong boot, but that wind may play havoc with the ball.
The wind is swirling. It usually blows left to right as we look at the pitch, but today the flags are blowing everywhere, and this will more than likely cause the kickers in particular all kinds of difficulty. Gauthier. Kick is up, and it's wide left. So the kick at goal goes for naught, and the Indians hang on to their 3-0 leads very early in this first half. Just a little pull on that kick, it would appear.
Yeah, I don't think that Danny struck that cleanly, but with another attempt, I'm sure that he'll find his confidence.
Off the restart, the Indians with a head of steam.
Very well
Jeremy
played.
Irving, and out wide, Johnny Van de Ven inside the 22. Indians pressing again. Here's Dave Thompson, the big number 8. Pulls his way through, and now the Indians will attempt to go wide, but again, they go right up the middle in front of the posts to about 10 meters out. The big prop, about 2 meters out, the Indians, surprising the Scottish. Thompson again drops the shoulder. And the Scottish there to thwart the onslaught of Dave Thompson, and that has to punish.
Absolutely. If the Scottish weren't taking the Indians seriously before kickoff, they're absolutely taking them seriously now.
So it'll be an Indian scrum, about 7 meters out. Here's an opportunity for the Indians again. They continue to power toward the try line. There's a bad pitch. Barrett tries to get it over. That one, good anticipation by the Scottish to thwart, but...
Absolutely, but the referee has deemed that there was a knock-on on the play, and so possession goes back to the Indians. Their scrum has been good, so they should win this ball cleanly.
There's Scott McLeish to put the ball back in. It's a scrum for the Indians, a couple of meters out. There's an opportunity. Thompson at the line. Is he in? No. Yes.
Well, that was very solid scrummaging from the Indians, executing a tight head wheel that led to their number 8 pick. The Scottish on the loose will have to dig in and battle that the next time they're on their 5-meter.
So Mike Abrams makes it 8-0 for the Indians. The prop picking up the loose ball and cashing in on all the tough work that Dave Thompson did down deep.
Absolutely. We said before the game that David would be the man to watch, and he's demonstrating that so far.
Jason Duff's conversion attempt is up, and it's off the upright. Unsuccessful, and you saw how the wind created the wall that just kept that ball going up and up and up. and it didn't have enough momentum to turn inside the post.
You're absolutely right, and it'll be interesting to see whether the respective fly halves pick up on this destructive wind and start kicking the ball high, making it difficult for the fullbacks.
8-0 for the Indians. Surprise, 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 Greg Hedgecoe.
It is a surprise, but well-deserved.
Off the restart, Indians gain possession, and that's been the key to their success thus far. Mind you, this game's still very young, but of the 9.5 minutes that have transpired, the Indians have more than amply won the time of possession category. Ball movement, quick ball movement by the Scottish. Unsuccessful thus far. There's another opportunity. Bam! Into a wall of barber pole defenders. Scottish pursuing once again. Stewart pushing his way through. And the Scottish giving the Indians a little bit of their own medicine here.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Indians are very committed to that breakdown, slowing down Scottish ball.
Now the Scottish attempt to go wide. Cam Wallace met by a trio of Indians defenders, and the Scottish come back quickly at the Indian 22. Out wide again. Here's an opportunity for the Scottish. Adam Radmore. Radmore outside. Sean Keenan is in.
Yep, very nice ball movement from the Scottish, starting from the arm of Danny Gauthier. Adam Radmore did well to step inside his man and to move the ball unselfishly to Sean Keenan, who will undoubtedly put it down for 5 every time that opportunity arises.
So Keenan's try makes it 8-5, with Dan Gauthier set to convert from well out, just outside the 22, but because of the angle, it's more than likely a 35 or 40 meter kick.
Absolutely, and in this wind, this kick will pose a challenge for Danny.
Ball fell off its perch. So Gauthier resets. Prepares, the ball is up, and again, wide left. So it's 8-5, and the Scottish, surprised early, have clawed their way back with a lovely try by the winger, number 11, Sean Keenan. Indians back in. Duff on the restart. Ball goes into touch.
And the referee not happy with that play, penalizing the Indians once again.
So Gauthier again kicks this ball into touch on the full, and it'll be a line out. Just on the Scottish side of midfield.
And it looks like number 3 for Barrhaven, Mike McCleary. Late to arrive in the lineup, but prepared to go. Referee asking for a larger gap between the teams.
And the hooker, Mike Willette, sets the ball in. And it's the first we've heard from Willett as the Scottish go wide. The Indians take over as they met the Scottish defensively very, very well on that exchange.
Yes, Adam Radmore won't be thrilled with himself after that attempted kick at the ball.
There's Kevin Leon Tang. And we mentioned at the top of the show that these two teams are undefeated, and there you see the standings. 4 wins apiece, but the Scottish in the lead by 3 due to bonus points awarded for scoring at least 4 tries in each contest.
Yeah, absolutely. A bonus point victory provides the Scottish with 5 points, and they've done that so far in all of their games.
There's a nice reverse from Leon Tang as the Scottish
turnover possession to the Indians. The Indians have been very committed to that breakdown. They're sacrificing numbers out wide, but it's paying off the breakdown.
That attempt blocked, and back come the Indians. On the outside, hand to win for Duncan Shepherd. Shepherd to the 22, looking to drop it off. He's successful. Scott McLeish. McLeish to the 22.
Yeah, the continuity so far from the Indians has been very impressive. That'll be a key to their success today if they keep it going.
McLeish gets the kick in.
Shocking.
And it runs through the end line and
absolutely
come all the way
shocking.
back out.
I don't think he'll be satisfied with that decision when he watches it on TV again.
So it'll be a Scottish scrum at their 22-meter line. Kevin Leon Tang set the ball in.
Very solid scrum from the Indians. Turned over possession once again.
Thompson drops it off for Brandon Palmer. Palmer advances a couple of meters. Ruck ensues. The Scottish gain possession.
Referee playing advantage.
There's Mike Willett. There's a turnover, and it's a penalty against the Indians.
Referee not happy with the Indians coming in from offside at the ruck.
Gauthier kicks the ball into touch on the full. And it'll be a line out for the Scottish, who trail 8-5. Dan Mooney along with Greg Hedgecoe, the former coach of the Barrhaven Scottish, wearing blue. There you see Gauthier. This Division 1 Rugby Ottawa test for first place overall. Indians off the line out. They attempt to go wide. It's Jeremy Irving. Irving stopped up at the 10-meter. Duff cuts back inside. Met by a wall of blue. And play called again.
Yeah, the referee has called the Indians player for not releasing the ball. The Scottish were still able to steal it away, but he blew his whistle before spotting the advantage opportunity.
And Dave Thompson calming Brandon Palmer down a tad and performing the task that most leaders have to do at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Not surprised that his boys are a bit fired up, but they will have to control their temper or else the referee will penalize them for some of these infractions.
And that could end up costing the Indians the match.
Absolutely. With penalties comes territory, comes points. The Indians will need to be disciplined, primarily when they're tussling with the Scottish after the play.
Line out Scottish. Good anticipation by Stewart. Leon Tang getting the ball out, trying to go wide, but the Scottish attempting to power the ball up the middle. Here's Willett. He's taken down.
Very committed defense from the Indians. But again, lack of discipline has resulted in a penalty.
And these two teams displaying a fierce competitive nature, and it would appear that on the pitch they don't like each other very much. There's a lot at stake here. First place overall. Gab Sirwa being taken to the turf, and Mike Willett didn't like the fact that he didn't let go of the ball.
No, Mike was first over the ball and had all rights to it. Very good clearing kick from Danny Gauthier has put the Scottish in a scoring position, and they'll be very keen to convert this into points.
Line out Scottish. About 5 meters out.
Well, the referee has deemed that the Indians player has knocked that ball forward, so it's a scrummage to the Scottish on the 5-meter line. Now, the Indian scrum has been very solid today. Hopefully the Scottish will find their form and be able to contest a little bit better at scrum time.
Here's a great look from our Rogers TV crew, giving you fabulous pictures of a wonderful day for rugby here at Twin Elm.
Yeah, the referee not happy with the Indians forward pulling down on, I believe, Mike McCleary to collapse the scrum.
Scottish trying to hit quickly. It didn't work, and it'll be free kick awarded to the Scottish as they try to punch it in and take their first lead of this match. But the Indians clearly defiant.
Turnover.
They get the ball back, and they try to power their way forward, as they've done this entire first half.
And now it's the Scottish's turn to be penalized, clearly frustrated with the loss of possession. They've given away even more territory with a penalty.
So the Indians get the ball into touch on the full and relieve some of the pressure as they continue to not only frustrate the Barrhaven Scottish, but lead this test 8-5. This is how the Indians got their perfect start, defeating the Beavers, the Blues, the Irish, and the Kingston Panthers. And the Scottish have 14 of those victories in a row in the last two campaigns. Here's another good powering rush by Willett up the middle inside the 22, and again,
this could be a yellow card against the Indians. They're repeatedly slowing the ball down at the breakdown, and that was clearly diving over.
The Scottish are a little more dominant in their victories. Nonetheless, they have their hands full with this Ottawa Indians side.
Absolutely. But the Indians player has provided an opportunity for 3 points and will be sitting on the sidelines for 10 minutes with that yellow carding for professional foul.
So Dan Gauthier will attempt to tie this game up with a kick from directly in front of the uprights from the 22-meter line. Matt Waybridge heads off. Gauthier's kick is up, and it's good, and we're tied. So despite all of the efforts of the Scottish, it took a mistake from the Indians to get them tied up, back on even terms.
Absolutely, but it is a very costly mistake. It's been 3 points so far, but playing 10 minutes with one man short may result in even further lost points to the Scottish.
Dan Gauthier, member of the former Carleton Raven. Stewart. Keenan up the middle, attempts to go wide. Bad ball handling by the Scottish, but they're able to hang on to it. Brian West. Again, the Scottish running into the wall that is Dave Thompson.
And well stolen by Dave as well. He's having one heck of a game so far. The referee not happy with Barrhaven playing the ball with their hands after the ruck had already been formed. Frustration, obviously, on behalf of the Scottish.
Kick at goal?
I'd say that they'd have to take a shot at goal, and yes, that's the decision.
Jason Duff. Welcome back to the Twin Elm Rugby Park in Richmond, Ontario for this Rugby Ottawa Division 1 match between the undefeated Ottawa Scottish, or Barrhaven Scottish, and the undefeated Ottawa Indians. Dan Mooney alongside Greg Hedgecoe, and the Indians continuing where they left off in that first half, and they're pressing this very, very speedy Barrhaven Scottish side. Indians moving the ball to the Scottish 22. Inside, McLeish getting the ball off. Dave Thompson, who we heard from in that halftime, speaking with our Jeff Ives, is the catalyst for this Ottawa Indian side. Scottish leading the Indians 15-11 after scoring a try with Matt Norton sitting out 10 minutes on a yellow card. The Indians short, as are the Scottish at this point, with Andrew Beveridge still awaiting his return to this game with a yellow card, and now some words being exchanged from Mark LeBrun and a couple of members of the Indians side, and we've got a member of the Indians down. LeBrun not happy.
No, LeBrun was contesting for possession at that ruck and hit the bottom of it, may have received a couple of boots and been frustrated as a result. However, the referee has penalized the Scottish, marched them back an additional 10, and Duff has decided to go for the points.
Take them where they can get them. The Indians opened the scoring early on a penalty kick from Jason Duff. Duff has made 2 so far in this match. Duff's kick is up, and he hooks it wide left. And you have to take advantage of opportunities like that to stay close to this tremendously offensive and explosive Scottish side.
Absolutely. Duffy will not be happy that he missed that kick.
Duff 2 of 4 at this point, and Gauthier gets the ball back into play. Scott Dennis, the Indians.
No, get forward, be there!
Trying on the blind side. McLeish setting it back. McLeish again. Up the middle, the Indians playing their power game.
Advantage.
Free ball! Free ball! Free ball!
Maul continues, ball loose.
And the Scottish penalized again, this time for playing the ball from the ground. Interesting to see Captain John Lee wearing number 19 back on the field after a few weeks off with injury.
Yeah, we talked before the match, and you said if he gets into the game, watch for him. He's a good one.
Yeah, he will make a difference. John is not only the team captain of the Scottish and has been for a few years now, but is also the captain of the Ottawa Harlequins team. A leader by example and a very, very talented player.
Played for the Barrhaven Scottish in the Melrose Sevens. Dave Dawson.
53, 29, 84.
Set the ball in on the restart. Indians on the line out.
Turnover.
Not for long.
I'm not sure the Scottish fans will like that call.
McLeish getting a little shove from Mike McCleary as he tried to retrieve that loose ball. And this time Duff elects to kick the ball into touch on the full, get the line out, and the Indians are trying for the scrum. Duff perhaps a little angry with himself for missing that penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ordinarily he would try to take the points off this field position. However, they are opting for the line out.
29, 35, 82.
Indians with one try.
Shocking.
And that coming from prop Mike Abrams. And a turnover again, and the Scottish send the ball into touch on the full. Ball dropped underneath the bleachers. The stands here at the stadium pitch at Twin Elm, and much to the chagrin of the folks sitting around, you could hear the collective "oh."
Yeah, absolutely. And part of that may have been that the referee has decided that the Scottish knocked that ball on before clearing it into touch, and so has awarded a scrum.
Referee Andrew McMaster awarding scrum to the Scottish.
Check that, the scrum to the Scottish, yeah.
And off the scrum, maul ensues. And again, the Scottish successful in kicking the ball into touch on the full and relieving some of the pressure.
Absolutely. Danny will have hoped to have gained more territory off that kick, but he was under a tad of pressure. And they did gain marginal ground as a result of that advantage call by the referee.
So the lineout will take place just outside the Scottish 22. And perhaps the longest sustained pressure by the Indians of the match thus far. McLeish to Duff. Duff, a quick hit up the middle, and a wonderful run from Johnny Van de Wint. Gets to about 4 meters out. Here's another opportunity. Duff gets the ball back. Dawson tries to plow through. He can't get it to the line, and the Indians continue to press.
They do continue to press, and that pressure has resulted in a penalty. The referee has decided that the Barrhaven players are diving off their feet at the ruck and would like to have a word with them. Beautiful, strong run. Scottish a little high in defense, but a solid run.
Get ready, Norton. Duncan, get ready.
Yeah, Danny O'Shea clearly diving on the tackle player, slowing down recycling. Good call by the referee.
Scrum 5 meters out. McMaster, referee McMaster not liking what he sees. He'll have them engage again. And Scott McLeish sets the ball in.
Solid scrum from the Indians.
Taken by Dave Thompson. Thompson is in!
But not surprisingly, Dave Thompson picking up from 5 meters out and able to power his way to the try line, rolling out of contact and touching it down.
So the Indians take a 16-15 lead with the conversion to come. And the big number 8. Instrumental on the Indians' first try. Getting one of his own here to open the second half, scoring with Jason Duff's conversion to come. Great work by the Indians. Great sustained pressure by the Indians, keeping the Barrhaven Scottish on their heels.
Yeah, absolutely. Right from the kickoff, it's been a lot of pressure by the Indians, and that's resulted in points for them. So congratulations to the Indians. They're playing a very solid game.
There's Duff's kick, and this one's wide right. So Duff having his problems judging the wind, and it is beginning to freshen here at Twin Elm as this second half still very, very young.
The Scottish will be looking to hit back very quickly. Wouldn't be surprised if Danny tries to hang this one up in the air and John Lee contests for possession. And Andrew Beveridge is back on the field from his sin binning.
And Gautier's kick not taken well by Thompson as the ball is kicked into touch on the full, and another Indian mistake.
Yeah, Scott Dennis will have hoped to gain a bit more territory and, of course, keep that ball in field. But unfortunately, it went out directly.
So Mike Willett set to throw in the line out at the Indians 22. Leon Tang sends it wide. Brian West cutting in. Leon Tang again for John Lee. Lee. The Indians now they'll come to the open side. LeBrun.
Advantage to Scottish and a penalty. Referee deeming that the tackler did not roll away.
So in front of the post, do you kick at goal here?
I would say that the Scottish would have to kick for goal and regain their lead.
And it would appear that Gauthier is stepping up, so that's what it would appear they're doing.
Yes, they've elected to take a shot at goal.
Right in front of the posts, that's probably a good move. Get the lead back, trailing 16-15 at this point, with still lots of time remaining here in the second half.
And it should be a very interesting second half. This game has been back and forth so far, with both teams very determined to win.
First place on the line, both teams undefeated, with the Barrhaven Scottish in first place as a result of bonus points accumulated after scoring 4 tries.
Off
the upright. And they get it back. LeBrun inside the 22. A fortunate turn of events for the Indians, and it leaves Dan Gauthier shaking his head.
Hands on hips, shaking his head. He won't be very happy with that, but sometimes a bit of frustration can focus that young man, and he'll perform well from this point forward, no question.
Scrum for the Indians. Good scrum. McLeish taken immediately by Leon Tang and a host of blue jerseys. But the maul continues to go the Indians' way. Duff gets the ball back out to midfield, into touch on the full.
Very good clearance touch. Clearance kick. The Indians will be extremely happy that they got out of that sticky situation.
Indeed, the throw in quickly by the Scottish, and they're not allowing it. Mike Ouellette appealing to referee Andrew McMaster, and he doesn't like the call, and he'll have to do it all over again.
He will. The referee had deemed that the line-out had already been set, therefore no quick throws allowed. I haven't seen a referee change his mind, so Mike's words probably fell on deaf ears there.
16-15, the Indians in the red, white, and black lead the Barrhaven Scottish in blue. Two undefeated teams in Division 1 Rugby Ottawa have been taking it to each other here at Twin Elm. Very fortunate, Johnny Lee on the quick restart, a turnover. Dave Dawson, the Indians hooker, with the quick turnover, and the Scottish wasting no time.
And the referee would like to have a word.
Both teams with a lot at stake. The Barrhaven Scottish haven't lost a match in 2 years.
And hopefully the Scottish flew in that this is not a full-arm penalty, and so if they kick it straight out of bounds, he's providing possession to the Indians, and they have clued in.
Kevin Leon Tang for McCleary. McCleary, the big prop, trying to barrel his way in. Scottish take it out wide. Gauthier. Adam Radmore couldn't come up with the ball. Indians with a turnover. And again, time after time, the Indians frustrating the Scottish with a strong defense. There's an opportunity for the Indians. Here's Duff. Duff with a good move on the far side. It's the ball over to the Scottish side of midfield, and a sustained pressure by the Barrhaven Scottish results in no points, much to the chagrin of Dan Gauthier, the fly half and kicker. And the Indians just seem to gain more and more momentum as this game goes on.
They are, and I think they're gaining more and more confidence, as you can see with some of that ball movement on the last play. They're winning the race over the ball at the breakdown, stealing ball, winning their own, and they're definitely a threat to win this game.
On the line out, the Indians. Again, successful. Thompson with a big push toward the Scottish 22. McLeish, Duff.
Solid defense.
Again, they'll try to hit it wide. Duncan Shepard inside the 22. McLeish coming to the blind side. Ben Latta not successful in gaining much ground, and play called again.
Absolutely. The player thought that he could keep running even though he had technically been tackled and so penalized by the referee.
Gabby, back up! Get it!
Ball kick
Gabby, get
deep.
back there, squirt that!
There's a Scottish opportunity. Kick into touch by Scott Dennis with Danny O'Shea converging quickly, and you don't want to give that guy any opportunity. Here's another chance for the Scottish as Brian West heads deep into the Indian territory. Kevin Leon Tang taken. Here's Willette to the 22, no further, as the Indians set up their defensive assignments. Leon Tang tries to go the open side. Again, ball handling mistake by the Scottish results in a turnover. The Indians competing very, very solidly.
And the referee spotting a knock-on from the Indians, scrum down to the Scottish.
Duncan Shepherd not happy with that turn of events, but he'll get back into this one very, very quickly. It'll be a scrum for the Scottish.
And you get a very clear sense that the next team to score points may indeed be the victor.
Just over 20 minutes remaining in this second half. Another turnover as the Indians break out. The Indians coming out wide. There's an opportunity. You talked about it. Oh, a bad exchange, and the Indians are forced. But they get it back. They barrel through to about 5 meters out. The Indians continuing to press.
Oh, unfortunate for the Indians, an infraction at the breakdown.
Danny O'Shea getting the Scottish out of trouble.
And as you say, you do not want to give Danny O'Shea space. He has pace and agility.
Willette sending the ball out wide, and again another miscue on the exchange, but a good run here by Cam Wallace. Wallace across midfield, getting some help from Willette as the ruck forms. Play called. The Indian fans not happy.
No, they're not happy, but the referee has spotted the Indians player for losing his feet at the ruck, commonly referred to as diving over. And the Scottish got out of a lot of pressure there. That looked like a guaranteed try, but unfortunately the Indians weren't able to connect the dots with their passing and now are back in their own end.
How quickly things can change. The Indians looking as if they were going to widen their lead to at least a converted try.
Absolutely. This is going to turn out to be a very exciting 19 minutes.
Willette for the Scottish. The Barrhaven Scottish just 4 meters outside. The Indian 22 off the line out, another turnover. So it's been a story of who can cash in on whose mistakes.
You're absolutely right, and Mark LeBrun will not be happy with that, although his team has regained possession.
Johnny Lee. Lee drops the shoulder and keeps his legs going. But again, the Indians equal to the task defensively.
Absolutely. It would appear that an Indian got his hand in on John Lee, unfortunately knocked the ball forward. John Lee trying to find his feet after quite a few weeks on the sideline.
Everything that the Scottish have thrown the Indians' way in this one, the Indians have handled off the scrum. The big number 8, Thompson. McLeish for Mike Abrams, who has a try in this game, celebrating his birthday today. Jason Duff gets the ball deep.
Unfortunately, though,
It landed in play.
Unfortunately, though, the ball did land on the line. The line is considered out, and so the kick is considered to be straight out.
But things have, the Scottish have taken it into play, even though the officials weren't quite certain.
No, I'm not sure anyone was quite certain about what was happening there, including Adam Radmore.
Ball on the Scottish side of midfield at the 10-meter line. Coming into the game, Thomas Hindle for the Scottish. As you see, Mike Willett.
16 is playing instead of 21 for the red team.
Spent the last 2 years in Australia, Willett did. Playing for the Surfers Paradise Rugby Union Club. Hindle comes in.
Yeah, Hindle comes in, Adam Radmore off the field, and Danny O'Shea moving to fullback.
Yeah, number 20. Number 21.
Scottish attempting to get something going here. Head coach Jamie McKenzie shaking things up, mixing it up as we approach the final 15 minutes of this rugby test, with only 1 point separating these two teams who came into this game undefeated.
Scottish doing a good job of maintaining their possession, although it looks like the Indians may have their hands on this ball, and indeed they do.
Another turnover as the Indians get the ball. Nice cut back inside. And the Indians throwing everything. Thompson picked up
Boom.
by Brian West and taken to the turf. Make that Abrams. And Abrams is shaken up after a punishing tackle from Brian West.
Absolutely. You see Brian dip nice and low, explode into contact, grab the leg, and just drop the player. Very solid contact.
The time is out as referee Andrew McMaster discusses something with the touch official Carl Rubin.
Yep, the assistant referee must have spotted something there he didn't like. It would appear it's an infraction by the Indians.
And McMaster in conference with two Indians and two members of the Scottish in yellow cards.
Yellow cards for both.
John Lee being assessed a yellow card for the Scottish. And I believe it's Jeremy Irving going off for the Indians. So McMaster, referee Andrew McMaster, making sure that the final 14 and a half minutes of this test are going to be played in a civilized way, as you see the blood dripping from the nose of Dave Thompson.
And the Scottish lost on that exchange of players, losing one of their flankers, a very involved player and talented player, to a winger who has fewer touches of the ball.
So each team playing 14 aside for the next 10 minutes.
Solid scrum.
McLeish. Duff. Can't get the ball outside. Another turnover. The Indians get the ball up. Another opportunity. Good pursuit by John Houle.
Well rocked by Danny O'Shea.
continues to go in the Scottish direction.
And the Scottish will need to use this ball quickly.
Both these sides have to be tired as Gauthier sends the ball into touch.
Very intelligent kick by Danny.
It landed
just in field and bounced out.
And head coach Fabio Romano right there. And that's the second time that Nathan Abdel, the assistant referee, has made a call that has been overturned by the referee, the main referee, Andrew McMaster.
Absolutely. We have some fairly confident assistant referees today. We don't see assistant referees making the calls that often. And perhaps that's a bit of justice for the Indians because Danny Gauthier's kick did appear to land on the line, in which case it would have been straight out.
So the line out, Dave Dowson throwing it in for the Indians, and a quick hit for Abrams. Dowson gets it back. Dowson dropping it off.
Foot in touch.
Foot in touch. Clemens Kendall rather, had his foot into touch, 1 foot into touch as he caught that pass.
Absolutely. Playing to the front of the line out like that is very high risk, and what typically happens just happened.
So now it'll be a line out for the Scottish. And the Scottish gain possession. Willett. The ruck forms. Kevin Leon Tang. Gauthier. Gauthier for Danny O'Shea. O'Shea keeps his legs going, but he's taken down in a fine tackle by number 19, Mike Wade, in there for the Indians.
I don't think anyone can doubt the Indians' defense. It's been very solid all game long.
The Scottish.
Turnover.
Get the ball back. Leon Tang tries to go wide. Willett chips the ball up. That one picked up by John Houle with a nice move inside. Thompson for Scott McLeish. McLeish trying to get it past the Scottish 22 as again the Indians continue to sustain pressure against the Scottish defenders.
Drop goal attempt right here. No,
the chip kick. Hindle after it, and it goes out. And it'll be a line out.
Line out Scottish, but Scottish lock Mark LeBrun has been having a lot of difficulty in the line out today, and so this is a very decent opportunity for the Indians.
Horwitz in there to set the ball in. Horwitz, another member of the Ottawa Harlequins.
Ontario.
5 meters out. Ball loose. Scottish in possession. Ball comes out. McLeish has it as they try to get the ball over the line.
And the referees deemed that was held up. We don't have the luxury of a television match official to see whether that initial touchdown was in fact a try, but the scrum does go to the Indians on the 5. We'll see another loose ball in the line out. Very good pressure, and the question is, was that a try right there?
Scott McLeish thought it was, and he looked at the official immediately.
Absolutely, but the referee didn't see it that way, and so it's a scrum down to the Indians. Solid pressure from the Scottish scrum.
Indians gain control, but unable to gain much territory. Here's another chance for the Indians as they barrel their way through. Chris Barrett in there. They try to go out wide. They continue to press. Here's another opportunity. They can't get the ball in. They're about 2 meters out. Indians again, forcing the Scottish. John Houle getting back to midfield just in case the Scottish get the ball back. And
unfortunately, the Indians have given away a penalty and such a great attacking opportunity coming in from in front of the back foot at the ruck. Danny Gauthier will want to clear this as far away from his own line as possible. Yeah, hard to see exactly what the referee saw there, but he didn't like it in any case.
So the Irish, or not the Irish, the Indians squandering yet another opportunity, getting down very, very close early in the second half to a try.
Absolutely. The Indians have put on a lot of pressure. The Scottish seem content to try to run it out of their own end instead of gaining some territory, and unfortunately are playing the game in their own end this half.
Dave Thompson with the only try of this second half to give the Indians a 16-15 lead. 15-11 at the break in favor of the Scottish. The Scottish certainly involved in their toughest test of the season. The Indians as well. The Indians a more power-based side with their forwards pounding into the defenders. And they've been content to do this constantly, time after time in this match. And the Barrhaven Scottish, a club that has been able to use their speed so effectively during the course of this season, as Houle starts it back out for the Indians.
Big tackle.
Ben Latta taken to the turf.
And advantage goes to Scottish. Penalty.
LeBrun.
Mark LeBrun had decided to go quickly, but I think his teammates will be thanking the referee for blowing that up. I imagine that the Scottish will want to gain some territory, hopefully get close enough for a three-pointer and win this game.
The Scottish, an offensive-minded club, have scored a ton of points this season and have been unable to against this very, very defensive-oriented Indian side.
Absolutely. One has to be impressed with the commitment of the Indians to both defense and the breakdown, and that's made the difference today. John Lee back on the field after 10 minutes, and it's a timely insertion with 5 minutes remaining in the game.
As is Jeremy Irving for the Indians. As we are into the final 5 minutes, and there's a turnover off the line out. Clemens Kendall picking up the ball as the Indians gain possession. Dougal Topshee.
And it appears that the Scottish have turned that over. Referee playing advantage.
Scottish get the ball back. Kevin Leon Tang as the ball moves. Clemens Kendall takes the ball along with Leon Tang over midfield, but the ball will come back onto the Indians' side.
And it appears as though the referee would like to have a word with the Indians player.
Clemens Kendall over there along with the captain, Dave Thompson.
On a different day, Danny Gauthier may be inclined to go for points here and win the game, but with this wind, I just don't see that kick as possible.
Not from this far out. Andrew McMaster discussing something with assistant referee Nathan Abdel. As you look at Dan Gauthier, I don't believe anyone with the strongest leg would be able to kick something through the uprights from that vantage point against that wind.
No, the Scottish don't have Danny Gauthier hitting the targets that well today, and it's a tough ask for any kicker on the day. This wind is a bit difficult for all players.
What normally blows
yellow card
left to right not good at this juncture.
No, not good, and it's extremely rare to see assistant referees calling in to the referee for yellow cards, and that's twice this game. That is their role, but it takes a very confident assistant referee to be making that call.
And it's going to be Scott Dennis, number 14, going off, and the Indians can ill afford to lose a man for what is conceivably the remainder of this match.
Absolutely. Now, fortunately for the Indians, James Stewart for the Scottish was taken off as well. And also, fortunately for the Indians, the Scottish lineout hasn't been as crisp as it typically is. We'll see if the Scottish are able to clean it up here with a likely throw to John Lee.
82, 96, 57, Scotland,
David
ready.
Horowitz.
Yep.
Set to throw in.
And up.
As time ticks away, Leon Tang with the ball off the line out. LeBrun with some help from Sheen Mullen to try to push LeBrun. Leon Tang heading out wide. Gauthier. Brian West with some room. West with a couple of moves. Taken down. Nice tackle by Duncan Shepherd.
And quick ball. That ball needs to be moved by the Scottish immediately.
Leon Tang takes it. Tries to get across himself. Unsuccessfully. About a meter out.
And what is the call from the referee here? This could be the game.
Great run by West.
Great run by West. He used to be a back player, showing his abilities there. I'm very curious to see the call from the referee. Another yellow card. That's 3 on the day, right underneath the posts. This
and
should be
Dave
3
Thompson.
points. This should be 3 points in the game right here. Wow. That's a total of 5 yellow cards in this game. And it wouldn't appear that the players are actually playing that ill-disciplined. But perhaps too many hands on the ball, too many attempts at diving over the ball at the ruck.
The penalty occurred 6 meters out. Gauthier has moved the ball back, and you're not going to get any better vantage point to win this match, as we are into extra time now, and Gauthier set to keep the Scottish winning streak alive. He missed on a chip shot earlier. Gauthier's kick is up, and it's good.
Yeah, if Danny Gauthier had missed that one, I think he would have owed his entire team some beer. But he did come through, and it would appear that if the Scottish dig in right now, play out the remaining injury time, that the victory is theirs. But I would not count out the Indians. They are hungry for this win, and they'll keep fighting till the final whistle goes.
Not the way they've played this afternoon. That is for certain. But Dan Gauthier, as you see, number 19, Mike Wade, and the captain, number 8, Dave Thompson,
well taken.
off sitting out their yellow cards. The Scottish with 14 on the pitch. The Indians with 13.
And that should be the game.
Ball bounces, goes into touch on the full. And with all the stoppages we've had, this one's going back inside the Scottish 22.
Yeah, the referee has deemed that the ball was taken back into the 22, which doesn't allow Danny Gauthier to kick it straight out. Well, this will be a very huge line out for the Indians. Be very curious to see whether the Scottish contest and try to win this ball, or whether they stay on the ground. And they contest and win it.
Gauthier tries to get outside with some room, gets the ball to midfield.
Broken play, good attacking opportunity for the Indians.
Good run. by Irving. Gets the ball back to the Scottish 22 as injury time ticks away. Ruck inside the 22. McLeish trying to go wide.
And that was a knock-on advantage to the Scottish.
Danny O'Shea taken down. Leon Tang. Scottish get the ball to roll into touch.
Line out to the Indians.
McLeish not happy with Thomas Hindle. Wants to get the ball back because he knows that time is ticking away.
Absolutely. And the ball is up and in action.
McLeish with a great tackle from John Lee to thwart the Indians' attack. A key tackle.
And the Indians player playing the ball back with his hands. Another penalty. That was a furious tackle by John Lee. Very well done. That man can play rugby. The Indians will be very upset that they've let this game, in some senses, slip away from them. Here's the big hit from John Lee, grabbing the legs, driving down, and immediately looking for that ball.
Gauthier kicking the ball into touch on the full. And the Scottish look as if they're going to squeak one out here at Twin Elm. It's been a battle the entire 80 minutes. We're into injury time in the second half. Give the Indians full marks for giving the Scottish fits on this pitch.
Absolutely. The Indians are a young team in many respects. They've been working hard, and it's clearly paid off.
McLeish for Duff. Duff, as the Indians try to get outside, take it wide. Unable to. The Scottish defenders know that they have to keep the Indians
have numbers.
Bay here.
Indians have numbers.
But they can't get the ball out wide. McLeish trying the left side.
Have the Scottish turned over possession? They have, but illegally. Mike McCleary
just handing the ball back.
Mike McCleary handing the ball back to his teammates.
Indians with an opportunity. Ball loose.
And they knocked it forward. However, the referee deemed that the players were not back 10. I'm not sure anyone in the fans would agree with that call. However, it has provided the Indians with one final opportunity to finish off the Scottish today.
Kevin Leon Tang down. I believe it's Johnny Van de Wint favoring his left leg for the Indians. So as time ticks away, we're into more injury time as Ken Mawinye heads onto the field. He had his jersey off and figured that I'm not going to get any time in this test. Had his jersey off and was forced to put it back on as he goes into the game.
It looks like he's taking it off again as both players are committed to finishing this hot contest out. Oh, unfortunately that kick not finding touch into the hands of the very dangerous Danny O'Shea.
O'Shea out for Hindle. Hindle had to dive to maintain possession. Couldn't make any progress as the Indians continue to press. They know that time is not on their side. Clemens Kendall drops his shoulder and heads toward
Danny O'Shea, hands on the ball, turned over possession, and they should kick this ball straight out of bounds. I imagine that there's been sufficient injury time.
Gauthier, fly half. sends the ball into the stadium.
But once again, that ball was passed back inside to the 22, which would not allow Danny Gauthier to kick it straight out of bounds.
This is where the Indians need Dave Thompson, and Thompson, unfortunately, sitting out his 10-minute penalty for a yellow card. McLeish tried to get it forward. That didn't work.
No, but the referee...
Another call.
The referee has called another penalty. It would seem that there's an interest in providing the Indians with as much opportunity as possible.
Do you kick it goal here for the win?
They have to. They have to.
A kick it goal for the win. Jason Duff has been good on 2 of 4 attempts this afternoon. And he's going to get an opportunity to win this one for the Indians. Who'd have thunk it, Greg?
Very exciting finish to the game. I'm not sure what to say.
A penalty kick by Dan Gauthier into injury time gave the Scottish an 18-16 lead. Jason Duff will attempt to nullify that lead and win it for the Indians. Duff's kick is up, and he's wide right. The Indians with a chance, and this one's over.
Well, I have to give a lot of respect to the Indians today. They played a solid game of rugby, very good set pieces, very good defense. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to capitalize on all of their opportunities, as we saw with that missed kick that unfortunately Duffy will be having nightmares about this evening.
Final thoughts on a tremendous rugby match.
Well, I haven't seen the Indians play this caliber of rugby in at least a decade. I know that they're not going to be happy with losing, but they still should have their chins off their chest for developing as a club tremendously and giving a very, very solid contest to the Scottish, who are used to scoring more than just 18 points in a game.
The final score, the Scottish maintain their undefeated status with an 18-16 victory over the Ottawa Indians. For Greg Hedgecoe and our entire Rogers TV crew, I'm Dan Mooney. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.